Mic check.
Mic check.
What's cracking? What's popping? It's your host from the West Coast, Jenna, aka J All Day, and I'm with.
It's your host from the. I ain't even got no coast. It's me, guys. What's up?
It's me
You
again.
can find me on her page. What's up? I missed y'all.
I know. It's
What's
been a
going on,
minute since you've been
peoples?
on.
Yeah, I've been busy. I'm saying rehabbing my leg and stuff like that. Because had surgery. Surgery went good. Now I'm back. I'm back out here in these streets.
Full effect, walking on two legs and stuff.
Full effect, walking on two legs.
Yee.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, love.
I'm so happy you can take out Trina now because it's so cold out there. I was like, that's the only thing that I really missed. You not having, like, I didn't mind taking care of you or like cooking or grabbing things or helping you.
Chores, huh?
No, it's just Trina. It's just going outside.
Yeah.
Honestly.
We have a blast when we outside too. Walk around, say hi, what's up to the neighbors. She pee and poop, and we just get back home.
That's about it. If I don't have to go into the cold, I'm a happy person. So, before we get started, let's do the new snack alert. I know you hate it, but I love it.
Okay.
Peach cobbler.
Ooh.
Breyer's peach cobbler ice cream, which sounds hella good to me.
It really does.
I make a peach cobbler that you actually liked, but you just had a bad time with peach cobbler.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I had peach cobbler for the first time, and I was like, this is going to be so good. I ate it and got food poisoning and was scarred for life with peach cobbler.
Peach cobbler, like, that's such a shitty thing to be scarred with. Because if you make it right, I don't like too many peaches, but I like it more cake than peaches.
I just don't know what it was. I think I had it a time after that too, and I was just sick. And I'm like, is it all the ingredients mixed up together? That's
I don't
making me
know.
sick.
But you had mine and you survived.
Yeah.
So, Breyer's, don't get it confused with Dryers.
I'm like, dryer sheets got ice cream?
He didn't know there was a Breyer's and a Dryers.
Didn't know at all.
Which now, when I say it out loud, it's like weird and stupid. Like, if you are not a part of the same company, you straight just bit their name, but change it to a D or a B. I don't know who came first.
That's like Wendy's getting a competitor and
call it in Bindy's.
Yeah, or something like Mindy's.
Yeah, like, don't call them Wendy's.
Wendy's and Mindy.
Wendy's and Cindy's.
Oh,
that could work too.
McDonald's and McRonald's. But
yeah.
It's like Ronald McDonald.
It's so fucked up, right?
It's like, man, Cleo McDowell's.
But anyway, so it's limited edition ice cream, and if you try it, tag me on Instagram at JLDay87. I had a couple people try the cotton candy Dairy Queen ice cream. Yeah, she brought her daughter and then her daughter's friends, I'm assuming. They loved it.
Yeah.
She was like, it tastes just like cotton candy. I'm like, now I gotta go try it.
That's like the little boy we seen with the cotton candy at the ice cream place.
Oh, yeah, we were.
Hilarious.
I got boba for my cheat. I really wanted boba. And this little kid, he was like this little chubby kid, and he had like dirt all over his face and stuff, you know what I mean, wearing like a tank top in like 30-degree weather, and he was so excited to get his cotton candy ice cream cone. He was like, looked at us, he's like, it's the best, it's the best. I'm like, man, you are a little boy after my own heart.
He was hyped though. He was hyped.
I was hyped too.
You could tell it was a real moment too.
Hell yeah, he was.
Like,
I wish I would have gotten it on film because that would have been definitely a meme that went viral.
Yeah.
He was lit.
He was overly excited for that ice cream.
So Breyer's peach cobbler ice cream. That's the new snack alert.
Chill.
Okay, so we got a really good story.
I mean, I don't even know where to start at though.
I know where to start, and then
Okay,
you'll just. Why don't we just tag team?
All right, back again, shake and break it. Let's begin.
Okay, so first things first. This is the story of Carlos. So it was Monday last week.
It was a clear black night. Clear white.
And we were about getting ready for bed, and every night before we go to bed, we take Trina out. So I was taking Trina out this time, and I walked up to the door, and the screen, our blinds were closed. We never keep the outside patio light on ever, so it's really dark out there, right? So I'm like looking behind me, kind of like whatever, about to take Trina out. I put the blinds back. I turn on the light, and I look down. And there's like an oversized chihuahua like looking at me, like moving his butt so much because he's wagging his tail. Like as if that was our dog and he was waiting to come in and we forgot about him. Like that's how he was standing next to the door, right?
Yeah.
So I opened up the screen. I'm like, oh shit. I looked at Will. I'm like, there's a fucking dog out here. He was like, what?
What in the world?
And so I opened up the door, and I've been bitten by little dogs, so I was a little bit apprehensive at first. And Trina hadn't seen him yet.
Nah. But when Trina did see him, she was laying on the couch, and then she looked and rolled over like, oh, hell yeah, we got action.
Yeah, she was pissed. She was so fucking mad.
The side roll was crazy with Trina. She was on the couch and she looked, and she double looked,
Yeah.
eyes got bigger, and just ran off the couch.
Because she was knocked out.
Yeah, and that shit that you see in like the scary movies, like the horror movies, before like the people come kill you, it's like, hey, doggy, go sit on their patio.
Right.
When they come outside, they're gonna feed you. We're just gonna come in and kill them,
We're
right?
gonna kill everybody.
We're gonna kill everybody in the house.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey guy. And he's like looking at me like he knows me. And then I'm like, I'm scared to go out there. I was a little scared because, like I said, I've gotten bit before by a little dog. So he was like, let me go out there. He doesn't look mean.
Yeah.
And he didn't look mean. But you never know. They get a little nervous when you go to pet them. Next thing you know, they're like, attack your ass.
Yeah.
So he went out there first. And then he had a collar on, just a collar, no leash, no nothing, some tags on there. So I was like, dope, we in there. I can just call the owner right quick. Tell him to come down and get the dog. Because we knew in the place that we live, there's a lot of apartment complexes. So it hadn't have been somebody around the apartment complex. Like it couldn't have been like, he couldn't have come from that far away.
Yeah, but actually he did come from far away.
Well, later on that we found out.
Yeah, within the apartment complex. But we looked at the tags on the collar and stuff like that. And we got all the information. We online looking for everything.
The information they didn't have was, of course, his name.
Yeah.
Or the owner's name or the number. So all I had was rabies saying that he was vaccinated, so praise Jesus for that.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that said he was microchipped.
Yeah.
So you got on the phone.
Yeah, so he was microchipped, so I got on the phone and we called a couple places. But I'm like, when I'm calling these places, I'm not thinking it's just...
But what places did we call? We called like the vet places, shelter places. Actually, no. Go backwards.
Okay.
So he called the tag. He called the company of the microchip on the tag. They're closed because it's 11 o'clock at night right now. Like I said, we were getting ready for bed. So he calls the place. It's closed. Can't get any information. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
So then we're like, well, let's try to find Carlos's home.
Yeah.
Came up with the name Carlos and just went from there.
Yeah.
And so he's walking around with a Carlos, and you know how like usually when you find a dog, you trying to save an animal, it's running from you, and you can't seem to like get the animal to stay with you.
Yeah, but see, I'm outside walking Carlos, and I walked up the little ramp that we have, and I go to the right. Carlos go to the right, but then he'll venture off and go up some steps. I'm like, oh shit, he live right here. Yeah. I didn't know the neighbors upstairs had a Chihuahua
They
dog.
don't.
They definitely don't. So I'm standing right there, and I'm trying to walk away slowly, but all I hear is tat 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 tat, and I look down. Carlos is right there.
He's like our dog at this point. He's like doesn't want to leave. And so Will and me, we both go outside in the front, and I'm like, should I bring a leash? And he's like, no, he's not going anywhere. So I'm like, okay. So we're just walking around the complex, walking around the neighborhood, trying to figure out where the fucking Carlos's home is. So I call the police because I'm like, okay, usually in California, if I've ever had a stray dog, and I didn't want to take it to like the pound, because we knew it was somebody's, right? I would feel awful. It was obviously an older dog, 10 years old, had to have been. His little muzzle was all gray. I saw Trina in him when I saw him.
10 years old too.
Yeah, and I called it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, maybe if we call the police, like they can keep him inside, like with them until morning, you know, and then figure it out from there. Because we couldn't bring this dog in. Like Trina was losing her fucking mind. I had to put Trina in my room. And I already told Will, like, if we can't find a place for this dog, you know he's staying in the bathroom. And what'd you say?
Not at all.
But it was gonna happen if like we couldn't find a place to put this dog, because I refuse from it's too cold outside to just leave him out there. He's a short-haired dog. So anyways, call the police. The police says, oh, I'm sorry, after they transferred me 17 times to different police. And then they're like, oh, well, we at this hour we don't have anyone to send. So I'm like, so we're just gonna let this stray dog just like fucking just be abandoned?
Yeah.
Like, way to go, Seattle PD. So like, that was fucked up. So then
I called a couple places.
Vets.
I called the vet. So one vet that I called, he was like, yeah, you can bring the dog in. We can see if it's chipped. And if it's chipped, we contact the owner. And then that's that. But if it's not chipped, you guys have to take the dog like
back
home.
We
back
don't
to
have
where
any
you found
room
it.
for it here.
I say, sir, we don't have any room for this dog. We're not trying to keep the dog in the house. We already house a dog already. It's a big dog. I was just coming with some of everything just so we could take the dog.
Well, the bottom line was like we just didn't want to take this dog back.
Exactly. So we'll call a few more places, and I just ended up like, fuck it, let's just.
Well, they say it's full. They're like, it's full.
Yeah.
We don't have any room for the dog unless the dog is injured or unless the dog is. If it's a nice dog, like something weird like that.
That was a spot up in, like up in, I don't even know where that spot was.
They sent us to like Renton, I think. They sent us to Burien. They sent us to a lot of different shelters that would have places for them to go. But all in my head I was thinking was like, this dog's only going to be there for like a few fucking hours. Like this owner is going to eventually try to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So we were like, do we take this dog to this dude at this vet that originally, it's a 24-hour vet, that he originally said, I'll check to see if it's microchipped, and then if it's not, bring it back. Because we're like, if it's not microchipped, like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, that was...
But remember he said that we could take the dog to the police department down in Renton where he knew that they had kennels at. Yeah. And I think that was been the next step for me to take the dog to the police department if that dog wasn't chipped.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's what that was.
So after, and this is all within like the hour, right?
Yeah.
We're like trying to figure this out ourselves instead of going and figuring out if this guy's chipped or not. Yeah. So we decide to take Carlos on a little road trip to the vet to see if he's microchipped. And I get a leash and I put the leash on Carlos and he's like so excited. He's
super
like,
excited.
Where are we going, guys? I can't wait. And then he just hops in my car, no problem at all. Like he's been in there trillion times.
And it's weird how comfortable he was from jump, though.
Totally. You know? Oh, you know what? We actually forgot to say the funniest parts. So there was a couple times where like he would go venture off, and then me and Will were thinking, okay, well maybe he found his home. Some dogs, like I know this from experience because I picked up stray dogs, and sometimes it doesn't work out to their benefit, and I feel fucking bad. But some dogs just get loose and they go and they travel back home. Some dogs don't. But like I'm thinking Carlos, like he looked like he fucking knew what he was doing. He really did.
He knew for a fact he lived here.
And so we were like, okay, Will was like, listen, why don't we just let him do his thing, shut everything down, and then see if he goes away, right? And I'm like, I guess so. But every time we opened the blinds, he was there, right? So we shut everything off. I'm like, but if he's not there, like we gotta fucking do something. He was like, okay. He knows how I am with animals, so he was like, fine. So 5-6 minutes goes by. I'm like, should I check?
Go ahead, check.
We walk up to the window. I turn on the light, and Carlos's butt is wagging. He's looking at us like, hey guys, what's going on?
Where's the treats?
So, yeah, I fed us some treats too, just so we could like read his collar, so I made sure you wouldn't bite your fingers off. But, and then I opened up the door a little bit, so I never let him inside. Number one, he was a boy. He would have pissed on everything. He already pissed on everything outside. And then Trina is just disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I can't do this to my baby girl. So I opened up the door a little bit, and he laid on the mat. Like, at this point, I'm like looking at this guy like, I can't, I'm going to walk out to a frozen ass dog in the morning if I don't do something about this dog, right? So we go to the vet.
Yeah, so we get to the vet, and he was busy with something, so we waited a few minutes, and then he ended up running a scanner over Carlos and finding out that he's chipped. Yeah. So we like, whoo!
Right? It's so much relief.
Oh my God.
We're like, can't even believe it, right?
Oh yes. So Carlos is chipped. They're gonna contact your people and Carlos, and they're gonna come pick you up. Yeah. So he goes in the computer, he puts all the stuff in, he comes back and say, the place is closed, so you guys have to take it home until the morning. Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, see the chip. And this is something that's actually really, really informative because I had no fucking clue. Yeah. The chip does not show the owner's name or address or any details. No. All it shows is the place that the dog actually got chipped at, where they will have the information of the owner, and then they can call the owner because obviously you don't want to give out your information, which I think is great, but I also think is fucking dumb.
It is dumb.
Because you should. I would want a cell phone. Put my cell phone. Tattoo it on Trina for all I care. Like I want to know exactly when my dog is found. If my dog is found. So we're sitting there thinking in our heads, like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
I'm instantly thinking we take him to the police department right now.
And I'm like, I can't leave this dog. Like, I just can't do this. Like, we gotta figure it out.
Third option, we should get in the car and take off.
That's what he said. And I was like, no.
What are they gonna do? They don't got no license plate. They just know this. These two people dropped the dog off and did.
We can't do that. Like, that's so fucked to Carlos. He looked at us like, parents. We were his homies. We couldn't just leave him in the dust. I'm loyal. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I didn't know Carlos would be loyal to him, but I knew his ass was gonna get taken care of. And just when we're sitting there thinking about
what the fuck are we gonna do?
A phone calls come through. Yep.
Yeah.
And about he's on the phone for maybe 2 minutes. He goes on the phone. He said, "Good news, the dog owner just called. He's going to pick him up."
What?
That's a plot twist right there.
We were so excited. We were like, "Carlos, you're going home." Oh, it was
Carlos
really.
is so lit.
Carlos's real name, we come to find out. We introduced ourselves to his parents, who lives like pretty far away from us in the complex. So Carlos had to travel very far.
A fucking journey.
Yeah, and he, for some reason, he showed up to us. Really fucking weird. But his original name is actually Huey, which I prefer Carlos. Yeah. I mean, it's so much better. Yeah. Huey's fucking, that's a dumb
He looked like a Carlos.
He looked like a Carlos.
Definitely.
So, but we saved his little life. Yeah. And, you know, that's it.
That was it. I kind of miss Carlos. The other day when I went to the mailbox, I seen the truck that Carlos got in from the veterinarian. I just eyed it down with a side eye, like, is my boy in there?
Yeah.
Like, what's up, Carlos?
And to give you a little background too of the owner, so she says, which I'm pretty sure she was on the spectrum. Her, I don't know what he was to her.
Let's say dad.
I was gonna say that too. It kind of looked like that, right?
Like a dad, yeah.
Or like maybe like a father figure.
Yeah.
Something. He kind of looked just a little different.
Almost, yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but he just looked like, I don't know. But she came in and she was like, you know, I let him outside, and like usually like he'll like run off and come back, but he just never came back.
So we were bringing groceries in the house from the grocery store, and he ran outside.
Yeah.
He just never came back.
I thought he had to go to the bathroom, and he never came back. And I'm sitting there like, well, wouldn't you go look for him? Because when we originally got Carlos, we're walking around thinking that like I'm thinking of like a dog owner. Like, what would I do if Trina was missing? And I'd go around and be like, Trina, Trina, you know what I mean? Try to find her. Eventually, she'd hear me. So we're like waiting, like listening. Do you hear anything?
No.
Nope. No one's looking for Carlos.
But there was a moment where he was sitting on the back porch and he just darted down to another apartment complex.
Yeah.
We're just like, okay, cool.
We're like, maybe that's where he came from. Cause like I see certain dogs, but like I'm not gonna lie to you. When I see certain dogs in the neighborhood, I don't really look at their owner. There's only a couple people I know. Yeah. Like if by face, if they weren't together, like, oh, that's the white dog.
Yeah. I get
like owner, you know what I'm saying? So, but I never seen Carlos here before on turf.
So while the lady's explaining to Jenna where the tags is, the tags was in the mail and the tag was on their way. The father figure dude is just looking at me, staring like, man. And he's just looking at me like, dude, I know you from somewhere.
He goes, you look familiar.
He's like, you look familiar, man. I'm like, man, maybe you probably see me on TV or something.
I'm thinking the same thing. Like, oh, here we go.
Ninja Warrior or something, came to a Globetrotter game, whatever. And I'm like, oh man, I don't know. And he was like, man, you sure? Because I drive buses for the city, and like, I could swear you just be on there all the time.
You should have seen Will's face.
God damn.
Will's face went from being like, yeah, like maybe, like I could see his head because I know him so well, to like totally, like his whole mouth changed and looked at him like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Damn. But didn't say that, you know what I mean? And Will goes, nah, you don't know
that
me.
Ain't me, man.
That ain't me, man.
Definitely not me, bro. You ain't gonna catch me on the bus those times, so. But it was so crazy.
Oh, I started crying.
He just knew I'd be on the bus.
Will goes, how fucking disrespectful. Like,
I knew I just see you on a bus somewhere.
And motherfucker, we just found your dog.
Right. I should have said, Carlos, come on.
We leaving.
Right? You with the gang now.
Right? So that was our good deed story.
That was.
But you should have just seen us like, and let me like put this a little more perspective on this for you. Earlier that day, it was my cheat meal day. So like I was super full. We were hella full. Like we were just about to go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And then Carlos just had to come and couldn't have come at like the weirdest time.
Hey guys,
I swear to God, I can still picture Carlos at the door. Like I was fucking dying. Every time I'd open the door, he'd just be right there.
It was about 10:30. We probably didn't get to bed until about 12:30.
Like I wonder how long he was standing out there for.
Exactly.
Until we checked, because we had looked outside for at least a couple hours. So Carlos could have been standing out there
for like 2 hours.
I mean, they went to the grocery store.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really know the time span because our shit was closed. But it was hella scary because when I opened it up, I'm like, oh shit, like what the fuck is that? My old apartment in Daly City, California, in the Bay. Yeah. I remember one time walking outside, opening my door, and the fucking raccoons out there, like, I'm like, oh my god. Shut the door, like, yeah, I'm gonna wait all night. But like, I never came out to like another dog just standing there. You should have just seen him. He was just so happy to fucking be there.
He was just so comfortable too, like he just knew for a fact.
For real, like when I watched them, because I stood outside for a while, and then he would just go right by the house and stand right in front of the screen door, and he would just look in, like he wanted to come in, like let me lay in that bed and eat that food.
It was warm in there.
Yeah, seriously.
Y'all got another dog like me, dang. Does she play with toys like me too? What's that over there?
What kind of toys she got over there?
Fire? You guys got a fire going?
Damn, they do fires too? This bitch got a bag full of trees. Right? She fed me. This is a good house to be in.
This is a great house.
Trina don't know how good she fucking got it.
Oh man. Carlos.
And then another cool thing that we did just the other night was glass blowing.
Yeah, glass blowing was amazing. That was a good time.
I've always wanted to glass blow. It's kind of like on my bucket list. And the other day we were watching a show and they were glass blowing, and I was like, man, I always want to fucking do that. And so he actually surprised me and was like, we're gonna go do something tonight. And I told him he's really bad at keeping secrets. Really actually, we're both bad at keeping secrets. Like, he'll be like, I'm not telling you, and he'll be like, do you want to know? And I'm like, no. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you, or like, you know, something, whatever. Yeah. So he did really well and kept a secret. Yeah. But then I wanted to know, so I was like testing him, and I asked you for a hint.
You asked me for hella hints.
Okay, but the one hint you gave me was so good. It was a riddle.
It was a riddle.
And what did you say?
I said, you can see through it. Something like that. It's like, what we're going to do, you can see through it. That's what I said.
See? I was so fucking good. I'm really bad at riddles, so I was like,
I don't know. No, that ain't it.
Yeah, but I knew it was something artistic.
Yeah,
I asked him, I was like, is it something artsy? And he was like,
arts and crafts.
Yeah, I said arts and crafts. He was like, yeah. I'm like, cool. So we went to this place in Seattle, which I didn't even know places like this existed because I never thought about looking them up, and he did. And what was it called?
Seattle Glass Blowing, yeah. It was amazing too. Like you walk in, first of all, their little display was closed, but you
they had like an art shop.
Yeah, they got an art shop. You walk through a restaurant, go through their art shop or art gallery to get to the actual glass blowing, which is in the back. And it's set up pretty nice. Like it's really dope back there. It was colorful. It looked like people was in there having a good time. I know we had a good time.
We hella had a good time.
Hella had fun. And yeah, we made bowls.
Yeah.
We made bowls.
And not the kind you smoke out of, actually the kind that you eat out of.
Yeah, guys, those.
So he made a bowl for me and I made a bowl for him.
Yeah. But it was, I don't know.
What?
It was like that Seattle glass blowing place.
Yeah.
The way the instructor told us about that place and then told us about the other places, it was just like that place was like trash compared to the other stuff that she said that we could do around the city.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, like how it's other places and other classes where you can go make other stuff at. Like,
art classes.
Yeah, art classes and things like that. So I'm sitting there like, damn. I should have been online a little bit longer. Maybe we could have went to one of those.
Yeah, well, we still can.
You know?
I'm down.
I know, but it was definitely dope, though.
She was saying, because I was actually asking her, like, so how do they make, because the things that she was making and how we were making it, it's really hard. Yeah. Like, it's a lot harder than it even looks. The pipe that you have to hold and constantly turn is way heavier than she made it look. Yeah. And I asked her, I was like, so how do they make, like, you heard of, if you smoke weed, you've heard of, like, triple blown glass. Like, that's what... So you don't break a pipe or something, right? And so I remember seeing that a lot, and I'm like, so how do you triple blow glass then? That doesn't make any sense because the way that she was doing it. And you can make it thicker or thinner with different ways, you know, with air or whatever. And so she was like, it's actually a different kind of glass completely. Like, she's like, I don't even know how to work, with pipes and bongs and like things like that. She's like, it's different glass. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, that's really crazy. Yeah. So, it would be really cool to even just like go and she's like, essentially you make a bong like you make a vase and then you just stick a hole in it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's really crazy to see like something get so hot and what you stick it in and like they have this like crazy chamber that is all where she collects the glass
from,
and it stays like, I don't even know how hot she said, but it was like,
it's like over 2,000 degrees.
Yeah, like it's crazy. So I was like, so would anything survive in there if you threw it in? She's like, nothing.
No, just disintegrate.
And then we were starting, our fucking morbid asses were like, yo, we could be like glass blowers and like killers, you know what I mean? Serial killers, like throw people in there, like, but like, you would never even know, because just to think like glass looks like Laffy Taffy when you pull it apart.
It definitely does, yeah.
And it's just a really amazing thing. Like, it's almost like, I don't know, it's like hypnosis. Like, it made me look at it and want to touch it. But even though I knew it was 1,000 degrees, like, don't touch that shit. You just want to touch it because it looks like it's gooey.
And then when she was in there with the stick trying to get the glass out of there, like, pulling it up, I'm like, where is this shit coming from? But then when she pulled it out, it was like, damn. It was just right there on the stick.
Yeah.
And then she take it to the to another heater.
Yep.
Yep.
But so not as hot, right?
But not as hot. Yeah. It was like maybe like 500 degrees cooler than what it was, but still 500 degrees cooler than fucking 2,000.
I mean, it doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter.
But it was amazing to see her, and then the bowls, and then her.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, the coronavirus, it's not just fucking up people that are getting sick. It's fucking all of our lives.
Glass blowing experiences.
All I wanted to do, because glass blowing, like, you blow your own glasses with your own air and stuff like that, and there's tubes, and it's really cool how you can like make it big or small or whatever. And so I was like, I wonder if she'll let us blow our own, because I just didn't know like how it went. And she goes, so usually like you guys would be able to blow your own glass, but because of the coronavirus, like I'm just gonna blow it. I'm like, damn.
I need my money back.
So I was pretty upset about that, but I told her, I'm like, we're coming back, we're fucking blowing our own glass.
Definitely. But it was a cool experience. I don't know, forget what colors. I think I got you red and orange, a red and orange bowl. Taking that hot glass and dipping it in the colors, and then you got to put it back in the oven, and then you got to turn the pipe until the glass melts on top of that. Then you got to pull it out and roll it again, put it in a cup. Like, it was crazy. It was a fun experience.
Yeah, it definitely. It looks like glitter that you're rolling it in, but it's just more glass.
Yeah. And more colorful glass.
Yeah, it's just really crazy. It's just a really crazy experience. I just had the best time, and most of all, it was nice that you heard me say that, and like I didn't even think about even looking up a class or even having it be an option to write off my bucket list. You know what I mean? But
I knew for a fact he was gonna figure it out though. He was getting close, and he was like, "Is this something arts and craft?" I'm like, "Dang, she gonna figure it out." And then I was like, "You gotta wear shoes, you gotta wear pants and sweaters." She's like, "Dang, are we gonna color something?" I'm like, "I don't know."
I thought he was gonna take me to a pottery place because I like that too.
I wasn't that, but yeah, that was fun. It was a good experience too.
Yeah, we popped up to the place.
Yeah. And then we went on the Ferris wheel after we went from Elliot's. Then went to the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
Our Blueface baby photo.
Yeah.
We're gonna throw that up online for y'all to check it out. Blueface baby.
It was an inside joke.
Definitely.
They all probably thought we were crazy, and we were crazy for going to all these tourist like areas while the coronavirus. We live on the edge, man.
We definitely was out there living it up.
Yeah, we didn't even wear masks, but we did bring sanitizer, hand sanitizer, like everywhere.
We shot that shit everywhere. I was spraying it all.
We were taking shots. Spraying on our face, spraying on people's faces where they talk to us.
Yep, spraying right in their little area.
Yep, just making sure.
Yeah.
People be nasty. But that's about it.
That's about it, babe.
Anything else you wanna go over?
Yeah, so y'all know I usually don't be giving on my Instagram or stuff like that. So if y'all really want it, go to her page.
You're so annoying. It's okay. You guys probably already follow him anyway. So
woo, big summer blowout.
Jokes on you. You can always hit me up on the gram as well at JAllDay87. I'm still waiting on these advice questions.
Yeah.
You guys, all of a sudden, nobody wants to tell me anything.
Right.
But
that's weird.
Sorry.
Come on, guys. Come on.
But next time, I have something really exciting going on. I am going actually to do a podcast off-site.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be real dope.
So stay tuned for that, and that's gonna be the beginning of me going off-site a lot because I gotta get in the.
Gotta get in the mix.
In the community.
Gotta get in the mix.
All right, we'll be back. Peace.
Peace. See you later, Carlos.
Oh, Carlos.